ACountNews.com. Peter Zimbo
ACountNews.com.
here with Lou Zabella, who will be promoting the middleweight championship of the world this Saturday night between Sergio Martinez and Sergey Zinzurek. Lou?
Zinzurek, Sergey Zinzurek.
I didn't say it right, Zinzurek.
No, don't worry about it. 99% of the people don't, so I wouldn't take it personally. But no, Sergey Zinzurek, this is a very tough fight. I think that I have the best fighter in the world in Sergio Martinez, but of any fight out there, this might be the most difficult fight for him. Style-wise, styles make fights. Zinzurek is a technically perfect fighter. He's got a tremendous jab, tremendous defense, very hard to hit, good lateral movement. He's a very, very difficult fighter to fight, a very difficult fighter to look good against. So you're really going to see Saturday night the best middleweight in the world against the best 54-pounder in a fight that I think will be a great fight.
And it was just a few years ago that Sergio Martinez was considered the best 154-pounder in the world. How much of an impact does that play, if any, on this fight with Zinzurek, I hope I pronounced that correct, coming in weight?
Honestly, both these guys, in fact, if you looked at them, Zinzurek is bigger than Martinez. And Martinez could go down and fight at 54 right now. He could go down, he could fight at 54 right now. So size is not an issue in this fight.
Is this kind of a threat with Zinzurek being the great unknown? I know you were hoping to parlay Sergio Martinez's breakout 2010 into some big superstar fights this year. I think this falls a little bit short, even though it is a very appealing fight. Are you nervous at all?
I agree with you. And am I nervous? I'm very nervous. I'm particularly nervous about fighting a guy this good that's this unknown. I mean, he's fought only once in America, on American TV before. He's campaigned totally in Europe. He's a known commodity abroad. And by the way, if you go to most foreign news people that cover his career, a lot of them are picking him to win this fight. He's not known to the public very much. I'd say that Sergio Martinez sold the tickets to the event. But that being said, he's the best guy in the world available to fight Martinez. And it says a lot about the kind of champion Martinez is that he's taking this fight. That being said, if we get past Zinzurek, if we get past Saturday night, we do want the biggest fights. We do want the most money. We want the most attention. We have a great, great fighter who's 36 years old, and now is the time to step it up and get those opportunities. But he's got a big, big, big hurdle ahead of him on Saturday night.
Let's talk about the biggest fight out there real quick. A few weeks ago, Freddie Roach told me that he would put Manny Pacquiao in with Sergio Martinez at a catch weight of 150 pounds. Is that possible?
Yeah, if you cut off Sergio's leg. I mean, I love Freddie, but that's such a stupid comment. I mean, this is a middleweight. I mean, yeah, he'll come down to 54, but he can't come down to 50. He'd have to, literally cut off a limb, or become anorexic. He's not a 50-pounder. He's never been a welterweight. He was a 54-pounder, a true 54-pounder who's become a true 60-pounder. He would come down, starve himself to make 54. Hey, Manny will fight guys at 54 when he knows he's going to win. So fight a guy at 54, and maybe you're not going to, Freddie. And Freddie, I appreciate the comment, but we can't make 150.
So you think that he was just saying that knowing the fight would never happen?
Yeah, of course. And by the way, I'm not faulting Manny for not taking the fight. He'd get murdered. He would get murdered because this is a much bigger man, a much stronger man. There's a physical difference. Manny Pacquiao is one of the greatest fighters, not only of this time, but ever. But Manny Pacquiao is not a middleweight. And Manny Pacquiao is not a true 54-pounder. So honestly, I don't blame them for not making the fight. I think it's a little bit, instead of just saying the guy's too big, saying we'll fight you at 150, that's like, okay, cut off your arm, we'll fight you. Come on.
Let's talk about the co-feature to this fight Saturday night. Andy Lee, who recently signed with you as a promoter, he's taking on Craig McEwen, what is dubbed the Celtic War. Andy Lee, this is just his second time on United States television. The first time was a bit of a letdown. He was upset by Brian Vera. He told us we're going to see a new Andy Lee this Saturday night. I
think you are going to see a new Andy Lee. He's a very young fighter still. He's only 26 now. He was a kid when he lost to Vera. And I want to tell you something. Brian Vera, it's no disgrace to lose to Brian Vera. Particularly if you're a young fighter like he did and you got caught. He was ahead in that fight, and Vera caught him. But you just saw Vera beat up Mora. Vera beat Sergio Mora, and I thought conclusively. And Sergio Mora had a draw with Shane Mosley, who's now fighting Manny Pacquiao. So, the loss to Vera, it was a stumbling block, but I think it made him a better fighter. I think you're going to see the best of Andy Lee Saturday. But he's got a tough fight. Craig McEwen was a great amateur from Scotland, one of the best amateurs ever to come out of Scotland, and a terrific fighter. And the winner of this fight, the winner of this Celtic War between Lee and McEwen, is going to become a logical contender for the middleweight championship. So it's a significant fight.
Let's just quickly talk about some other fighters in your stable. Andre Berto, welterweight title holder, taking on Victor Ortiz April 16th. Any word on where that fight will happen?
We'll be announcing that by tomorrow.
Yesterday
so
was
you're not
yesterday.
Getting the exclusive, I know, but it'll be by tomorrow.
Let's talk about some other fighters. Edwin Rodriguez, one of the best prospects in the country at super middleweight, didn't look that great in his last fight against James McGirt Jr. It was announced afterwards he had an injury, originally thought to be a rotator cuff.
No, that wasn't McGirt Jr. The last fight was Aaron Pryor Jr.
Excuse
He's been
me.
fighting some juniors lately. No, Pryor fought a good fight, but he had a pretty bad injury to his rotator cuff. And it's not an excuse because Pryor fought a good fight, but he had a tough fight. I mean, Edwin had a tough fight. I think it was a learning experience. He's healing right now. We're going to keep him out for another couple of months to be safe. You know, it turned out not to be as serious an injury as we originally had thought. We thought he might have required surgery. He's able now, with rest and rehab, to avoid surgery. The rotator cuff should be 100%, I'd say, by sometime in May. So you could expect Edwin back probably in May.
And sticking with the super middleweights, two guys you have a stake in a little bit at least, Glenn Johnson and Alan Green. What's next for both of them?
Glenn Johnson, who's now no longer a super middleweight. He's a light heavyweight.
Isn't he still in the Super 6?
What am I saying? He was a light heavyweight. You're right, and I'm wrong now. I blew it.
Okay.
He came down to 68 for the first time in like years and looked better than he's looked in years in defeating Alan Green. And now has the opportunity to fight Carl Froch. It's going to be a terrific fight. I love Carl. I think he's a terrific fighter. And the Road Warriors, look, he's one of my favorites. He's one of every boxing fan's favorites. And I think he's going to give Carl hell. So I look forward to that fight. It's on May 21st, the semifinals of the Super 6 on Showtime, May 21st. I think it's going to be a terrific fight.
And Alan Green, any word on him?
Alan Green will be coming back in the next couple of months at 175 pounds.
It's funny you say you love Carl Froch. Last time I saw you here at the MGM Grand, you didn't love him so much.
No, I still like the guy, man. I've had quite a few pints with the guy. He's a good guy. He's good people. I like his attitude. He's brash. He's confident. I mean, he broke my heart, man. He knocked out Jermaine with 14 seconds left when Jermaine was probably up by 5 rounds. But you know what? It takes a champion to pull that off. So I give the guy nothing but props. I'm a big fan of Carl Froch.
Well, it's this Saturday night, HBO, live from the MGM Grand Foxwoods Middleweight Championship of the World.
Tickets still available. Come to the Foxwoods, the MGM Theater at Foxwoods, for a great doubleheader in the middleweight division.
For 8countnews.com, I'm Peter Zimmer. Thank you. Thank you, Lou.